They say we're living in the most disruptive era in human history, where authenticity beats algorithms, and being yourself is literally printing money. But here's what nobody's telling you. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, saw this coming 2,000 years ago, not in an economic forecast, but in a philosophical prophecy that's reshaping how Americans make money today. While everyone's obsessed with side hustles, crypto schemes, and grinding until they burn out, Marcus Aurelius offered something revolutionary. He wrote in his private journal, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Here's the plot twist that's breaking the internet. What if making money in 2025 isn't about doing more, but about knowing yourself deeper? What if your struggles, your weirdness, your authentic voice, the stuff you've been hiding is actually your most profitable business asset? Stay with me, because the 5 strategies I'm about to reveal aren't about launching another dropshipping store or chasing trends. They're about building sustainable wealth from something far more powerful than any algorithm, your inner truth. And the data proves it's working for ordinary Americans right now. Asterisk, the Stoic millionaire mindset. Asterisk, let's get something straight. Marcus Aurelius wasn't on LinkedIn posting motivational quotes. He wasn't hawking courses or running Facebook ads. But this man understood human psychology better than most understand TikTok algorithms. What Marcus Aurelius gave us was the blueprint for accessing something more powerful than any business strategy. An unshakable, authentic self. Here's what the Roman emperor knew that modern entrepreneurs are just discovering. Alignment is the new hustle. While everyone's burning out trying to be someone they're not, the real money is flowing to people who've mastered being exactly who they are. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." And in today's economy, this isn't just philosophy, it's profit strategy. When you stop pretending to be someone else, you stop competing with everyone else. You become a category of one. Think about it. We're living in an era where AI is replacing fake personalities faster than humans can create them. What's left? What's irreplaceable? Your authentic voice, your real experiences, your genuine perspective on life. The data backs this up. A recent study showed that personal brands built on authenticity generate 3x more engagement and 5x more revenue than those built on manufactured personas. Americans are craving real connection in a digital world full of fake everything. Let me give you a real-world example that'll blow your mind. There's a guy in Austin, Texas, who used to hide his struggles with anxiety and ADHD. He worked a soul-crushing corporate job, medicating his way through meetings, pretending to be someone he wasn't. When the pandemic hit, he got laid off. Instead of frantically applying for more jobs he hated, he started posting honest videos about his mental health journey, not for pity, but for connection. He shared his strategies, his setbacks, his breakthroughs. Within 18 months, he'd built a 6-figure coaching business, helping other professionals navigate neurodivergence in the workplace. That's the Marcus Aurelius principle in action. He wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." This guy stopped trying to change himself to fit the system, and instead changed his relationship with himself. The money followed. Here's what's happening beneath the surface of the American economy. We're exiting the age of fake it till you make it, and entering the age of be real and get paid. The old system told us to shrink ourselves to fit into predetermined boxes, suppress your weird interests, hide your struggles, follow the template. But something fundamental has shifted. Social media gave everyone a platform. The gig economy gave everyone options. And now Americans are realizing they don't need permission to monetize their authenticity. The barriers to entry have disappeared. You don't need a storefront, a massive investment, or even employees. You need clarity about who you are and the courage to share it consistently. Marcus Aurelius understood this at the deepest level. As emperor, he could have been anyone, done anything, projected any image. Instead, he chose radical self-honesty. His private journal, Meditations, wasn't meant for publication. It was his way of staying grounded in truth while wielding enormous power. He wrote, "How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does." In today's context, this means stop studying your competitors and start studying yourself. Stop copying other people's business models and start building from your unique foundation. The Americans who are thriving financially right now aren't the ones with the most followers or the slickest websites. They're the ones who figured out how to package their authentic selves into valuable offerings. They've turned their healing into helping, their struggles into solutions, their perspectives into products. This isn't about being vulnerable for clout or trauma dumping for views. It's about recognizing that your lived experience has economic value. Your insights matter. Your voice is needed. When you align your income with your identity, something magical happens. Work stops feeling like work. Money becomes a natural byproduct of being useful while being yourself. You stop chasing trends and start creating them. The old paradigm was about fitting in to cash in. The new paradigm is about standing out by going within. Marcus Aurelius showed us that true power comes from self-knowledge, and in 2025, self-knowledge is the ultimate business asset. Shadow profits, monetizing your struggles. Here's what Marcus Aurelius knew that Wall Street doesn't teach. Your deepest wounds often contain your greatest wealth. The Roman emperor wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He was talking about turning obstacles into opportunities, a principle that's creating millionaires across America right now. You know that thing you've been through, the addiction, the divorce, the depression, the anxiety, the toxic relationship, the career failure that left you questioning everything. That's not your liability. That's your intellectual property. We're living in the most authentic economy in human history. Americans are tired of polished, perfect, plastic content. They want real stories from real people who've walked through real fire and came out stronger, and they're willing to pay premium prices for that kind of authenticity. Let me break down what's actually happening in the marketplace. Traditional media is dying because it's fake. Corporate messaging is failing because it's manufactured. But personal storytelling, it's absolutely crushing it because it's real. Take Sarah, a single mom from Phoenix who spent 3 years battling an eating disorder. Instead of hiding this chapter of her life, she started sharing her recovery journey on Instagram, not for sympathy, but for connection. She documented her healing process, shared tools that worked, and created a community of women supporting each other. Today, she runs a $300,000 a year business helping women develop healthy relationships with food and their bodies. Her failure became her fortune. Her struggle became her superpower. Or consider Mike, a former investment banker who lost everything in 2008. House foreclosed, marriage ended, career destroyed. He spent 2 years rebuilding his life from scratch, learning about financial recovery, emotional resilience, and starting over in your 40s. Now he's one of the top financial recovery coaches in America, earning multiple 6 figures, helping other professionals rebuild after major life setbacks. The worst thing that ever happened to him became the best thing that ever happened to his bank account. This is the Marcus Aurelius principle in action. He understood that our greatest teachings come from our greatest trials. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The key is in the realization. It's not enough to have survived something difficult. You have to extract wisdom from the experience and package it in a way that serves others going through similar challenges. Here's the business model that's working for ordinary Americans right now. Transform your test into your testimony. Then, turn your testimony into revenue. Step 1 is integration. You can't monetize trauma you haven't processed. Marcus Aurelius spent hours each day in reflection, writing, and self-examination. He knew that unprocessed experience is just pain, but processed experience becomes wisdom. Step 2 is documentation. Start sharing your insights, tools, and breakthroughs, not from a place of "look at me," but from a place of "this might help you." Americans are craving guides who've actually walked the path, not theorists who've only read about it. Step 3 is productization. Your story becomes content, your insights become courses, your healing becomes helping, your journey becomes a business model. The beauty of this approach is that it's recession-proof and AI-proof. No algorithm can replicate your lived experience. No competitor can copy your story. You have a monopoly on your own life. But here's what most people get wrong. They think vulnerability equals value. That's not enough. Vulnerability plus wisdom equals value. Raw experience plus refined insight equals revenue. Marcus Aurelius wasn't just journaling about his feelings. He was extracting practical philosophy from his experiences as a leader, a father, and a human being. He was turning his inner work into outer wisdom. The Americans who are building sustainable businesses from their authentic experiences understand this distinction. They're not just sharing what happened to them, they're sharing what they learned, how they grew, and what tools they discovered. Along the way, your struggles gave you street credentials that no university can provide. Your recovery gave you insights that no textbook can teach. Your journey gave you wisdom that people desperately need and will gladly pay for. The question isn't whether you're qualified to help others. The question is whether you're willing to let your hard-won wisdom serve the world while serving your financial freedom. The Emperor's Blueprint for Authentic Authority. Marcus Aurelius never attended a single business school, never read a marketing manual, never took a course on personal branding. Yet he built the most powerful personal brand in ancient history and ruled the greatest empire on earth. How? He understood something that modern entrepreneurs are just rediscovering. True authority comes from inner wisdom, not outer credentials. The traditional education system is crumbling under its own weight, and Americans are waking up to a startling truth. Information doesn't equal transformation. You can have a Harvard MBA and still be emotionally bankrupt. You can have a PhD and still be completely disconnected from your purpose. You can spend $200,000 on an education and still have no idea what you're actually here to do. Meanwhile, there's a revolution happening in America. People are bypassing traditional institutions and building authority directly from their lived experience. They're becoming guides not because a university certified them, but because life initiated them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In today's economy, this translates to, stop waiting for permission to share your wisdom. Start sharing it. The marketplace is desperately seeking soul-level guidance. Not more information, but transformation. Not more data, but deeper understanding. Not more theories, but practical wisdom from people who've actually walked the path. Consider Jennifer, a former corporate consultant who spent $150,000 on an MBA, only to realize she was more lost than ever. After a nervous breakdown forced her to reevaluate everything, she spent 3 years studying meditation, energy healing, and ancient wisdom traditions. Today, she's one of the most sought-after spiritual business coaches in America, earning $500,000 annually, helping entrepreneurs align their businesses with their souls. Her clients don't care about her MBA, they care about her ability to help them find purpose, clarity, and sustainable success. Her journey became her authority. Her healing became her helping. Her transformation became her teaching. Or take David, a former addict who spent 7 years in and out of rehab before finally getting clean. Instead of hiding his past, he turned it into his platform. He became a recovery coach, then expanded into men's work, helping other guys navigate addiction, relationships, and finding their purpose. He's now running $50,000 group programs, speaking at major conferences, and building a movement around authentic masculinity. His rock bottom became his launching pad. This is the new paradigm, Marcus Aurelius predicted. Your journey is your curriculum. Your experience is your expertise. Your story is your strategy. But here's the crucial distinction. This isn't about becoming a guru or claiming to have all the answers. It's about becoming a guide who's willing to walk alongside others on their journey. Marcus Aurelius understood this perfectly. Even as emperor, he never positioned himself as superior to others. He saw himself as a fellow traveler, sharing insights from his own struggles with leadership, loss, and finding meaning in a chaotic world. The Americans who are building sustainable authority understand this humility principle. They're not selling themselves as gurus who've transcended all problems. They're positioning themselves as experienced guides who've navigated specific challenges and can help others do the same. Here's the business model that's working. Identify your initiation. What major life experience transformed you? Where did you gain hard-won wisdom that others desperately need? Then ask yourself, who were you before this experience? Who are you now? What's the bridge between those two versions of yourself? That bridge is your business. Maybe you went from anxious to confident, from broke to abundant, from lost to purposeful, from sick to healthy, from addicted to free, from isolated to connected. Whatever your transformation, there are thousands of Americans currently stuck where you used to be, desperately seeking someone who's walked that path and can show them the way. Your qualifications aren't hanging on a wall, they're written in your cells. Your credentials aren't from an institution, they're from initiation. Your authority doesn't come from what you studied, it comes from what you survived, and how you transformed. Marcus Aurelius proved that the most powerful leaders are those who've done the inner work. In today's economy, the most profitable guides are those who've walked the walk, not just talked the talk. The question isn't whether you're qualified to help others. The question is whether you're willing to let your hard-earned wisdom serve those who need it most. Digital Stoicism, ancient wisdom meets modern platforms. Marcus Aurelius would have absolutely dominated social media, not because he would have chased likes or gone viral, but because he understood something that most content creators miss. Authentic wisdom always finds its audience. The Roman emperor wrote his deepest thoughts, never intending them to be published, yet Meditations became one of the most influential books in human history. That's the power of genuine insight shared from a place of service. Fast forward to 2025, and Americans are making serious money by channeling this same energy through digital platforms. But here's the twist. It's not about going viral or building massive followings. It's about speaking your truth consistently until the right people find you. Let's talk about what's really happening on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Beneath all the dancing and trends, there's an underground economy of authentic voices building real businesses, one genuine connection at a time. Take Marcus, yes, his real name, a 34-year-old former software engineer who started posting 60-second videos about Stoic philosophy applied to modern life. He wasn't trying to be an influencer. He was processing his own journey through anxiety, career burnout, and finding meaning beyond the tech grind. His videos were simple. Him walking in his neighborhood, sharing one Stoic principle and how it helped him that week. No fancy editing, no clickbait titles, just authentic wisdom delivered with genuine presence. 18 months later, he's earning $180,000 annually through course sales, coaching, and brand partnerships. His audience isn't massive, around 75,000 followers, but it's deeply engaged, because his content comes from a real place. This is the new digital economy Marcus Aurelius would recognize. Quality over quantity, depth over width, resonance over reach. Here's what most people get wrong about content creation. They think they need to entertain when what audiences actually crave is enlightenment. They think they need to be perfect when what people want is authentic. They think they need millions of followers when 1,000 true fans can change your life. Consider Sarah Ines, who started sharing short videos about emotional regulation techniques she learned during her own mental health journey. She posts maybe 3 times a week, always from her car during lunch breaks, sharing one practical tool for managing stress, anxiety, or overwhelm. Her content isn't polished, her lighting isn't perfect, but her wisdom is real, and her audience can feel it. She's built a $100,000 side business selling digital courses and offering group coaching, all from sharing what she's learned about healing trauma and building resilience. The secret sauce isn't production value or follower count. It's what Marcus Aurelius mastered, the ability to distill complex wisdom into simple, actionable insights that actually help people. Here's the strategy that's working for ordinary Americans. Right now, pick one thing you've learned deeply through experience. Share one insight about it every few days. Do this consistently for a year while genuinely trying to help people, not sell to them. The monetization happens naturally when you build trust through value. People start asking for more depth, more guidance, more access to your wisdom. That's when you create courses, coaching programs, or premium communities. But here's the crucial mindset shift. You're not building a personal brand. You're building a lighthouse. You're not trying to be famous. You're trying to be useful. You're not seeking attention. You're sharing attention-worthy insights. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In the context of social media, this means the best way to stand out is not to be like everyone else. While others are chasing trends, you're sharing timeless wisdom. While others are performing, you're being real. The most profitable content creators aren't the loudest or the most polished. They're the most aligned. Their content flows from their authentic experience, not from what they think will perform well. And here's what's really beautiful about this approach. It's sustainable. You're not constantly trying to come up with new material because you're drawing from an infinite well, your own lived experience and ongoing growth. Every challenge you face becomes content. Every insight you gain becomes value you can share. Every breakthrough you have becomes a teaching moment. You become what Marcus Aurelius was, a philosopher practitioner, sharing real wisdom gained through real experience with people who genuinely need what you've learned. The platform is just the delivery method. The real product is your authentic wisdom, packaged in a way that serves others, while serving your financial freedom. Asterisk the Aurelius economy, building wealth through wisdom. Asterisk Marcus Aurelius left behind something more valuable than gold, more lasting than monuments, and more profitable than any business empire. A blueprint for living authentically while wielding real power. Today, that blueprint is creating a new kind of economy, where Americans are building sustainable wealth, not through exploitation or manipulation, but through genuine service and authentic wisdom. The emperor wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This isn't just philosophy, it's the foundation of the most recession-proof, AI-proof, competition-proof business model in human history. Here's what Marcus Aurelius understood that modern entrepreneurs are just discovering. When you align your income with your inner truth, you stop competing and start creating. You become a category of one in a marketplace that's hungry for exactly what you offer. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in practice. Meet Lisa, a former marketing executive who burned out climbing the corporate ladder. Instead of finding another high-stress job, she started teaching what she'd learned about setting boundaries, managing energy, and creating work-life integration. She began with free content, sharing her journey from burnout to balance. Then, she created a simple online course about energy management for busy professionals. Within 2 years, she's built a $400,000 annual business, helping executives avoid the burnout trap she fell into. Her competitive advantage isn't her marketing skills or her business acumen, it's her authenticity. She's not teaching theory, she's sharing lived experience. She's not selling a dream, she's offering a proven path. This is the Aurelius economy in action. Wisdom as wealth, healing as helping, experience as expertise. But here's where most people get stuck. They think they need to choose between money and meaning, between profit and purpose, between financial success and spiritual integrity. Marcus Aurelius proves this is a false choice. As emperor, he wielded enormous wealth and power while maintaining his philosophical principles. He understood that money is neutral. It's a tool that amplifies who you already are. In the hands of an authentic person committed to service, money becomes a force for good in the world. The Americans who are thriving in this new economy have cracked the code. They've built businesses that make money by making a difference. They've created income streams that grow stronger the more aligned they become with their authentic selves. Consider the new business models emerging from this paradigm. Soul-led coaching, where your healing journey becomes your helping profession. Wisdom-based content creation, where your insights become income. Authentic community building, where your ability to hold space becomes subscription revenue. Experience-based consulting, where your hard-won knowledge becomes high-value expertise. None of these require massive startup capital, extensive credentials, or years of preparation. They require something far more valuable: the courage to be authentically yourself in a world full of counterfeits. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." The old economy is dying, the one based on hiding your true self, grinding until you burn out, and competing in a race to the bottom. A new economy is being born, one based on authentic self-expression, sustainable value creation, and collaborative abundance. The Americans who recognize this shift and position themselves accordingly will be the ones who thrive in the coming decades. Here's your blueprint for building Aurelius-level wealth. Start with radical self-honesty. What do you actually care about? What have you learned that others need to know? What impact do you want to make beyond just paying your bills? Then build from that foundation. Create offerings that emerge from your authentic expertise. Share content that comes from your real experience. Build community around the transformation you've experienced and can facilitate for others. Price your offerings based on their value, not your insecurities. Charge what your wisdom is worth, not what you think people can afford. Remember, you're not just selling products or services, you're sharing life-changing insights earned through your own transformation. As you grow, reinvest in yourself. More learning, more healing, more growth means more value you can offer. The depth of your inner work directly correlates to the height of your income potential. Marcus Aurelius proved that you can be spiritually centered and materially successful, philosophically grounded and financially free, authentically yourself, and abundantly rewarded. The question isn't whether this path is possible. The question is whether you're ready to walk it. Your authentic wisdom is waiting to become your financial freedom.